shape does he have one? And there's so many. I was fielding lots of questions from the production team, and then
6 hours, Tom. 6 hours.
It came up in. It wasn't 6. It can't.
Symposium. 6 hours.
I'm 2 maybe.
Okay, like, 2 hours.
Yeah, like an hour with a Q&A.
Tom. Q&A. There was a Q&A.
Anyway, so
sorry,
I said to.
Sorry. Love you. Sorry, Liz.
I said to Kate Herron, our director, I said, would it be helpful if I gave everybody all the information at the same time? And Kate and Kevin Wright, our producer, it then became a kind of low-key lecture. I'm crushed with shame and embarrassment that this thing has even happened and is now out in the world. But if you guys want the kind of cliff notes on it, I can probably type them up. Send you a copy if you really want it.
I think it's born out of real fear that I'm not sure I could hold a 30-minute discussion about it. That's actually what it's born out. It's like, oh my God, Tom Hiddleston is so prepared.
Paul, could you hold a 2-hour symposium about the ship of Ephesus, the ship of Theseus?
No, I couldn't. I just did what I always do, which is learn the lines, hope for the best.
Swing for the fence, baby.
And it's slightly intimidating because I was playing opposite my stunt guy, and he was kind of better than me, This happened to me once before when I had a stand-in, a camera stand-in. It was for lighting, and he would do things, and I go, Jesus, that's a good idea. And it was really, the whole thing was, I found myself robbing ideas of the
stand-in.
of the guy stand-in for lighting. Terrible. Anyway, but we digress. Hey, Adam, take it away.
Yes. So Tom brought up a which is all of you have in various times in your careers within Marvel had to navigate people like me asking you questions that you actually can't answer. And so I want to know if you all have sort of go-to ways of avoiding answering direct questions that are sort of spoiler driven, because you all have to protect the storytelling that Marvel has worked so hard to maintain and keep everybody surprised. Like, for example, Tom, it sounds like you didn't even know that Loki was going to from you. How do you navigate all of that?
No, actually, I did. The biggest secret I kept for a long time was that scene in Infinity War. Before we started filming Ragnarok, and they were kind of talking me through. Before they sent the script, they were kind of talking me through the story, and Taika, I think, wasn't in town at that time. So they were sort of describing what happens with Thor and what Chris was going to do, and the arrival of Hela, played by Kate. Alien planet at the other end of the universe with Jeff Goldblum as the Grand Master, and I thought, this is great, and then where it was going to end. And then at the end of that meeting, Joe and Anthony Russo came in, and they said, we're working on the next Avengers film, and the only completed scene we've locked is the opening. And then they told me what happened in it, and so I went to maybe 2.5 years, you just kind of, I don't know how you guys feel, you just kind of change the subject and go, I can't tell you anything. you'll have to wait and see. I know some people feel they have to tell someone, otherwise they'll tell everyone. How do you guys feel about it?
I tell everyone in my personal life, and I tell no one in the with things that happen in my life that don't get out in the press. So yes, trust them with Marvel news. God help you if you don't. Jeez.
This is really revealing about you. Yeah, we have people in our personal life that we trust. Yeah.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
I don't think Max does. He's shocked. I feel like Sebastian would be really good at answering this question.
What?
How do you like answering questions, Sebastian?
Absolutely not. I'm very worried about any trusting whatsoever. I before this variety call, I had a conversation with Anthony where I was I can't be alone. I think I have an attachment issue now to him. Like I can't even like do this.
See,
You're like
this
the
is
little
why.
brother, and the big brother just like.
Why am I not the little brother? How do you say, Lizzie? I might be the little brother. How about that?
I think you're the big brother, and Sebastian likes to let his big brother talk so that he can just.
Oh,
kind of
Lizzie, I'm
not
so
have to
happy
say
that you're
anything.
like.
I'm not saying anything else.
I'm not like putting either of you down, by the way. Just
Oh,
Just saying, if you
Nice.
ever want to meet at
Nice.
Aroma Cafe in the Valley, I'm in.
Aroma Cafe.
Is this where the therapy scene came from?
right.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just seeing it right in live. I'm seeing it live happening in front of me.
Oh, that's so bad.
Paul, I'm going to pivot to you for a second. Your character Vision has arguably evolved. Well, the part that you've played in the MCU has evolved. I don't even know if it's necessarily like really the same character entirely.
Yeah, he started off as a desktop.
Yeah, he started off as a voice.
He started off as a PC. This motherfucker, he started off as a Gateway 700.
and then you became Vision, and now, you know, a spoiler for the end of WandaVision, there's another version of Vision now that's out there in the MCU. You know, God knows when we'll see that again. But could you talk about, you know, for you how that's been to have this your time in the MCU just continually perpetuate and sort of start over again, and every time you think it's over, then they tell you it's not. What
Up, and I'd just been killed twice. And then I got a call from Kevin Feige, and you know when the boss and your contract's up, I went to my wife and went, I think it's over. So I went in there, and because I'm British, I was like, I don't want anybody to feel bad, so I just went in full on, like, it's been a great ride. I love you guys. No hard feelings, please. And they went, well, we're gonna pitch a TV show. So I was poised, unlike Anthony, I was poised to go, absolutely, I can keep the kids in private school. It's gonna be great. But to answer your question more seriously, yeah, it's been a fun ride. I think I was concerned about how on WandaVision, you know, because he's all changed, right? He's Ultron, he's Tony Stark. You know, so some sort of 1950s comedy into it, and it seemed to hold on. If the center of Vision is decency, you know, it can kind of absorb some other shit. So that's what I did.
Sebastian, when Bucky fell off of that train, when Bucky fell off of that train in Captain America, the First Avenger, did you know that he was going to be coming back at that point? Did you know that then?
No, no. They were at first they were gonna have this like green sleeved arm, and I was like, oh, perfect. And then they were like, you know what? We don't know. So then they gave me the real arm back, and yeah, I don't know. Not much after that.
So when did you find out that he was going to be coming back for Captain America: The Winter
A
Soldier?
friend of mine called me and said, hey, bro, I'm at the San Diego Comic-Con, and you're in the title of the next film. And I was like, oh, cool.
Seriously? They didn't.
Yeah. I don't know. We seem to find these things out like in weird ways, I guess. I don't know.
So did you've been playing this role now for off and on for 10 years, as has Tom. How has it changed your life?
Well, Tom, no, you're just trying to kind of like still have some sort of a life, I guess, without someone commenting on it. It's like this. It's like if I move this piece of paper from left to right, someone.
You just launched like 3 blog posts about what that means. And professionally speaking, how has it affected for all of you? How has being of the kinds of projects you can do outside of the MCU, the amount of commitment that you have to make with your time within the MCU, how has that affected your lives professionally?
I'll answer this genuinely and not make a joke about it. What it allows for all of us is that we all have a number sign above our head. Get financing. Because we want to do that, it does allow us to be able to do that. So I think that's a great benefit to being a part of such a huge international franchise. Genuine.
Yeah.
Way to go, genuine.
I love these films, I have to say, and I have been in less of them than I think everybody else on the Zoom, and I don't want to embarrass you, Paul, with sincerity, but I remember going to see the first Iron Man when I was doing a TV job for the BBC, and I was working abroad and went to the local cinema, and I came back, I was like, that was amazing. That was an amazing movie, and everyone in it did amazing work, and the idea that I would ever get to be in anything like that felt so remote at that time for me. I didn't know how on earth I would be able to get, I thought, wow, this is great. And I was thinking, maybe you do get mad love for Jarvis, but like Jarvis is great. And that's why you've evolved into the Vision, and that's why you're still here. It's been life-changing because these films mean so much to so many people, and that is a privilege.
I mean, yeah, I think the way that everyone felt at the end of Endgame when those battles happened, and the response that was sort of heard in the theaters, it's the thing that I keep thinking about when I think about going back to theaters post-pandemic, is sort of recapturing that kind of experience again. And part of that is the fan interaction, the experience that you guys all have with the people who love Marvel so much. And I didn't know if any of you had any favorite interactions or memorable interactions you've had with Marvel fans that you might want to share.
Well, do you know what? I'll say a quick thing. I was doing a play in London when Endgame opened, and I think I was one of the only people who wasn't there at the big release in Los Angeles. And two very old friends picked me up from the stage door one night, and